Hello everybody, my name is Producer Guy Phil, and to start, my favorite console is the Nintendo 64. Yep, you can laugh all you want. I'll even give you a couple seconds to laugh right now. Go ahead. Cool, now that we got that out of their system, you can't deny the impact the Nintendo 64 had on gaming as a whole. So many good games were released for that system, but today I'm here to bring you 5 must-own games for the Nintendo 64. So let's get started. Number 1, right out of the gate, we got Mario Kart 64. If you don't have Mario Kart 64, you need to get it. It is the ultimate multiplayer racing game. It is so fun, the courses are addicting, you can even make a fun drinking game out of it. But overall, in terms of graphics, it was revolutionary. It had that cool 3D aspect in racing, and when you gotta think about all the classic Mario Kart games of all time, you got Mario Kart Wii, that's actually pretty decent. Mario Kart 8 is outstanding, but you gotta go back to Mario Kart 64, is one of the best. Game number 2 that you must own is Goldeneye 64. This game revolutionized first-person shooters in general. Sure, you had games like Doom and Wolfenstein, but in terms of multiplayer, you can't deny that Goldeneye at the time had one of the best. If you look at it now, it might be a little weak. The controls might seem a little bit off, but if I had a dime for every time I played this game with my friends, I won't even have to make videos. I won't have to work. I'd be so gosh darn rich. It's incredible. You need to get Goldeneye if you do not have Goldeneye. Game number 3, while we're on the subject of multiplayer games, is Super Smash Bros. Well, mine looks a little bit different because mine is the Japanese version of Super Smash Bros., which actually looks pretty cool and plays the exact same on my North American Super Nintendo, which is actually kind of funny because a lot of the language stuff is actually in English, so it's a little odd. But Super Smash Bros. Is a super addicting multiplayer game. It came right out of the gate as one of my favorite Nintendo 64 games ever. And this came out kind of later in the Nintendo 64 life cycle, like right around 99, 2000. It came out pretty late. And already it captured my heart, and it's captured many gamers' hearts, as there's 4 sequels already, right? 4. There's Melee, Brawl, Wii U, and 3DS. You can loop 3DS and Wii U together. I don't really care, but Super Smash Bros. Melee featured an innovative fighting style that was a little bit traditional in the sense of you're trying to beat your opponent and try to get his health, but it was different in a way because instead of the health bar going all the way down, the health bar was percentage, and the higher the percentage got, the easier it got to knock your opponent off the stage. So Super Smash Bros., another must-get game for this system because it's so fun to play, and it's the ultimate multiplayer game to play with friends. Another game you must own for the Nintendo 64 happens to be a classic, and you just can't deny how good this game is, and that is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. When you think of masterpiece games, when you think of games that are 10 out of 10, that are perfect, flawless, you gotta think of Ocarina of Time. There's just no other excuse and no other way to explain Ocarina of Time. It's just a masterpiece. The story is captivating, the music is captivating. All in all, it's just an adventure you feel from the start of the game when you're in the Deku Tree to the very end of the game. And it spawned just so many of my friendships just talking about how well done this game is and truly how wonderful it is. And you know, when you play it as a kid, you're just thinking, wow, this is a really fun, really like exploring, adventurous game. But when you get older, you just think, you know what, whenever I think of well done games, I have to look back to like 98 and go back to Ocarina of Time. And it's kind of funny because every time I play like a really good story game, in my mind, I kind of always compare it. It's like, well, how does this stack up against Ocarina of Time? Maybe I was spoiled as a kid by getting to play it, but I can't explain the significance this game has in my life, and if you're a gamer, you need to get this game. And I wouldn't say this is the number 1 game to own on Nintendo 64 in terms of like the story, but a game you need to have if you have a Nintendo 64 is Super Mario 64. Mine is, again, the Japanese copy, because I like speedrunning the game, the text actually runs faster, and I like the red coin sound a little bit more. There is a difference, to be honest. There is a difference. But if you think in terms of 3D open world adventures, you gotta go back to the first. Mario 64 truly revolutionized gaming. The same way Super Mario World did, the same way Super Mario Bros. Did, it truly revolutionized gaming. And there's just another, again, it's a game like I could spend a whole video just talking about, but to like summarize, the way you went through the castle, you generally got like a good general sense of progression as you went through. You started off in like the main foyer, the main like first floor, and then the more stars you got to go to the basement, and then you got to finally go upstairs, then you got to go to like the attic, and it's just, it was an adventure. That's the best way I can describe it. It was an honest to goodness adventure. And it was also a little addicting because you wanted to see how many stars you could get and how many, you could actually compare with your friends. Your friends would be like, I had 110 stars. You'd be like, well, I only have 106. You used to be really annoyed. Then you go home and try to get like another 5 just to pass them. And it's just, all in all, it's just when I think of the Nintendo 64, this game is synonymous with it. Well, that's my list of must-own N64 games. Let me know your must-own Nintendo 64 games in the comments down below. I know I missed a bunch, and it's, you know how hard it is to think of 5 games that are must-own? It's tough. So smash that like button if you like this video, subscribe if you really liked it, tell all your friends, and I'll see you later.